Welcome to this week's Garden Rambles. A couple of weeks ago I got glass cutting and built a barn cloche. Very amateur glass cutting. So today we've come to find a glass artist and we're going to explore first of all his studio, his gallery and then his garden, because as you can just see from here he combines his art, a garden and beautiful, beautiful art, all in the one place. We're going to go and catch up with Richard Landers. G'day there, Richard. How's it going?
Hey, Michael. Yeah. Very good, thanks.
Yes. What an amazing drive you've got up there. It's, you know, little bits of art everywhere and fantastic views.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great place to live. And even though I have a nice big studio space to work in, the glass seems to spread out the doors.
Oh wow, yes, you can see that. But the thing is, you're between mountain and the sea. You know, that genuine posse where alpine out that way,
right.
Surf out that way. What brought you here?
Well, exactly that. You know, I lived down at Harvey Beach for the first 15 years working with glass, and then I just drove up the road one day and all of a sudden realised that, you know, what I was missing, being down there, even though I was close to the beach, I was covered in by big river banks, and so I was missing that mountain every day, and in my work it was always there, but I never got to see it.
Yeah. Now, your path to becoming a full-time glass artist, how did it all start?
Wow, that's a long time ago now. That's 1987. You know, I guess. Well, I don't know. You know, look, I worked in glass for Phillips and Impey's years ago, and any coloured glass.
That's an old name that you don't hear around in New Zealand anymore. And in the days when we had specialist glass firms, and
that's right.
A lot of little towns, Harwa and New Plymouth, they were all around, weren't they?
That's right. Yeah, Phillips and Impey were in every branch. They're probably still around. It's a different name now.
Yes.
I think there's still Impey's. But yeah, and I mean, a friend of a friend had a place in Levin, and he done lead lights, and I'd save little pieces of coloured glass, and it'd go to him, and then one day he made me a little round piece of lead light, and I thought, well, you know, I'm a mug to be giving that glass away. I can do that.
Yeah.
So that was it, you know. And someone said to me one week, you know, you should go into business doing this. You'd be great. And I said, no, you know, I'd never get a chance to do the stuff for myself.
No, because glass art is such a timeless, amazing thing. You know, the great churches, the great buildings of the world, all seem to feature something glass somewhere, even if it's just a little bit of obsidian somewhere in a corner. What's the magic of it?
Light.
Yeah.
Light. I'm sure it's a light. But also, you know, I think it's the fact that people are exposed to it every day in so many different ways. When they actually stop to realise what glass is, you know, that's when the fascination comes. You know, for years I've designed stained glass windows with colour, you know, and people are seduced by colour, and everyone's got their favourite colour, you know, and as soon as it seems that you take away colour and have just clear glass, the fascination to find the colour, actually they arrive at light, balance, shadow, shape, you know, and they're not interrupted by colour.
Yeah, and that's all the drama of art, isn't it?
That's right. It's the curiosity. Yeah. And that's what glass, I think, too, the transparency of it makes them curious about it, and they look closer, and before they realise, like I said, they become an artist themselves. They become to look at something in a different way instead of just colour.
Yes, well, I look at some of these pieces here, and as I move, I see little things moving in there. I see lines. You know, heaven forbid, even see a little bit of myself coming back at me.
That's right. And it is. I mean, we're told that's a liquid.
Yeah.
And people come in here and they say, you know, you make it look like a liquid, and that's the curious thing about it. And they say, well, it's this green glass they talk about, and you say to them, well, it's actually clear glass, and you explain to them that it's this window glass, it's all old window glass, and they go, well, how come it's green? And there I have the ocean right there.
That's right.
To explain it. When you go get a little handful of water, it's transparent.
Yeah.
Whereas from here, So it's green.
Yes.
So it's a play of the shadow and the density and size of light, which is curious.
Yes. Now, what would we describe around here? Your glass art. Do you do blowing of glass and things at all?
No. What you call this probably is maybe cold glass.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's all cold. There's no warm work done to most of it. There's a few little things like these little pieces here. Because there's just so much waste clear glass available, I'm always trying to find something to do with them. And because a lot of my works cost a few $100s or more, I like to try and have some small things.
Yes.
So these are done in a kiln and heated up.
Yep.
So that's called warm glass.
All right.
Cold glass is where there's no heat involved, and then you have hot glass, which is blown.
Yep.
So you got kind of the three areas. And although I have done plenty of warm glass in my time, I love the difference being is that when you fuse these together, it becomes one solid block.
Yeah.
They all get a little bit relaxed, and they lose that sharp edginess and that single lens effect that most of the work has.
Because it's an interesting thing at the moment. Once upon a time, glass was recycled when we had a proper glass factory in New Zealand and so on. And now you pull down an old greenhouse or something, and you can't. You got to have a major resource consent to get rid of that glass.
Oh well, I get calls, 2 calls a week. People want to know if I want their glass, especially now they know that I do this. But a lot of it is old house glass and window glass, which is too thin and fine for what I do use. I do use it for demonstrations to show people how to cut glass, and they're quite amused that I'm cutting glass that's 100 years old, snapping it and throwing it in the rubbish tin. Yeah. Because what other material 100 years old would be treated like that?
Yeah.
Glass has to be maybe 500 years.
Yes, it becomes a treasure. Yes.
So it's amusing, and that's what's great about having visitors and having a gallery space. Yeah. It's because you get people remind you of what an amusing material it is. And I mean, I've worked with it for 30 years nearly every day, and I can still be taught something by the average person that walks into the gallery.
Yes. What about coloured glass? How easy is that to come, though? Because every old house had at least one door with little bits of coloured glass in it. And
well, I mean, you look at the panels up here, the old variety. So there's still been 2 main manufacturers in America manufacturing and remanufacturing all the old patterns so that restoration work and repair work can be done. Unfortunately, there's just been a big closure of one of our plants, so we're all broke. Brought as much glass as we can quickly. Yes. In the last 30 days and this factory's been open for since the 20s. Yeah. And it's a big glass factory, so it's closing down, and it's all the modern glasses. Half the glass that I use in my work is now going to be not available.
Right. Well, that's going to be a blow, because
it is.
I imagine you talk to some of the other people that work in traditional things like knife makers and so on, and they've been dealing with firms that have been there for 400 or 500 years making the steel to the same thing. I imagine there's glass manufacturers too around the world that have that sort of history.
That's right. Yep, that's right. And some of the recipes go back, like I say, hundreds of years, and they're guarded. That's why there's only a few manufacturers. Yeah. There's only a few. You may think there'd be one in every city or one in every country, but for coloured glass, there's never been coloured glass manufactured in Australasia. No. There's only America that have really, and England that have, besides Europe, that have manufactured coloured glass. Yes. So there will still be lots of coloured glass available, but it'll be out of Europe. In Europe, they're still making glass in the handmade process. Right.
Well, you've ever been there to see it done?
No. I'm quite familiar with it. I've seen it on YouTube. Yeah. Of course. But it's expensive.
Yeah, I bet. Yes.
A team of men to make glass, whereas normal sheet glass is made without man.
Yeah.
Just a machine, continuous. Yeah. So it will mean it'll be harder for people to have stained glass because it'll be a lot more expensive.
Yes. Well, I think we need beautiful space in here, but these are completed pieces. Can we go along and have a look at the workspace?
Sure, we can come through this way. Yep.
The Revital product range from Revital Fertilisers can be completely customised to suit the unique growing conditions on individual farms. Our representatives can arrange a soil test on your farm to identify what is required in your fertiliser mix to obtain the maximum benefit for your pasture or crop. Sustainable pasture is the key to profitable farming. Revital fertilizers contain a diverse microbial population which continue to grow and improve soil fertility and productivity.